Hi everyone, and thank you for being with us today for this webinar session on IoT. I'm François Flech from the marketing department at Arc Informatique, and today we have Fabien Rigaud as well from the marketing department. Hi Fabien. We cannot hear you, Fabien.
Yeah, sorry,
And as a
Hi,
Fabien, and as a technical expert, we have another Fabien, by the way. Fabien Boissier is here. Hello, Fabien.
Hello, welcome.
Hi, Fabien. So today, IoT integration into your SCADA project with PcVue IoT Hub. So the overall topic is obviously IoT. We begin with the landscape of the IoT, the new technologies, the new opportunities, and then we'll describe what we have with PcVue IoT offer. Fabien will perform a demonstration, and then we will conclude with your questions and answers. You can ask question through the chat or the Q&A interface. And you must know that the session is recorded and we'll provide a replay of this session. So let's start with the IoT. So what is the landscape of IoT? We all know the IoT, I think. Obviously, it brings connectivity, new connectivity and deployment for long range and low power networks, and also new drivers. But if we take a look to the diagram at the right of the networks, we can see that there's three criteria: the power, the speed, and the range for networks. And we have local area networks, which by definition are local, so not long range, but short range, but with high speed and low power. So here we talk about Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and so on. Then we have the cellular networks with the family of G, the G family, 2G, 3G, and so on. Here we talk about high speed and long range network, but not low power network. And we have the low power wide area, the LP1, so the IoT network for long range and low power. So those networks, including LoRa, Sigfox, and also network derived from 4G, LTE-M and NB-IoT. Those networks are energy efficient networks, allowing to send light messages on a very long range. And that's what we're talking about here for the IoT. So the first facet is the connectivity and the deployment, but also the IoT leans on new kind of sensors, which are small, smart, embedding some smart features. Sensors are also connected. They can communicate easily. They can exchange data, and they are autonomous. Most of them are self-powered or powered with batteries, but it's also now possible to use devices not self-powered, plugged in a power network. And what we have with this new connectivity and those new sensors, obviously we manage more and more devices, more and more sensors, and this generates a massive amount of raw data. And then all those raw data are used by more and more mobile users as well. So the challenge is to be able to deliver relevant information from all those raw data to more and more mobile users. So if we focus on the IoT network, the LP1 network, the LP1 network is, as I said, the low power wide area network, and this kind of network are based not on polling system like standard protocol or drivers, but they are based on subscription published mode. It means that the goal is to exchange a very small amount of information from a lot of devices and use less power as possible on wireless network. So for that, we don't use polling system, but publish subscribe system. So devices put the data on what we call a broker, and device subscribers get the data from this broker. So the range is a long range, 10-15 kilometers, depending on where you are, if you are in a urban zone or not. And all the IoT networks use low energy components and support for self-powered devices, as I previously mentioned. And obviously, this use wireless infrastructure with no wire and with the maximum save bandwidth with no polling. So what are the benefits and the cons of that? It's very relevant for the use of sensors with battery, self-powered, and for telemetry application. But it's not relevant for real-time usage. This is not designed for that. And it's also not designed for large data flows such as video or voice and so on. So what are the opportunities of this new of this IoT is obviously to lower the cost of infrastructure and deployment using wireless devices and using wireless infrastructure, you save time and money, not installing all the wire infrastructure. It's possible with that to handle a large amount of raw data, and obviously the more data you have, the more information you get. So the challenge for an IoT platform such as PcVue is then to be able to convert those raw data into relevant information, especially for mobile user. This brings also new services in various markets. Few example, you can connect the crane for maintenance, for the remote diagnostic or geolocation. You have services in agricultural world for parking lots, for building, and so on. And at the end, it brings more productivity because more data means also more and more better information and better decision for the operators to operate their process. And the productivity is also increased both for machines and for teams. So when we talk about IoT deployment, it's important to note that there's two kinds of infrastructure. The private infrastructures, where the infrastructures, network, and devices are privately managed, so there's no operator for operating and maintaining the infrastructure and the network. Servers can be on premises or in a private cloud. In this case, you need a gateway also, but everything is privately managed. So the benefit is that the data are not owned by third party and everything is fully controlled, the data, the security, the infrastructure locally. And also there's no fees to an external operator. And the second type of network is what we call an operated network. And in this case, all the infrastructure and the networks are operated and maintained by an external operator. So the access to sensors to the device rely on the network operator, and all performances and the availability of the overall infrastructures are under the responsibility of the third-party operator. So in this case, you pay fee to an operator to manage everything. So we see those two kind of infrastructure in the IoT world. So now I just talked a bit about the landscape and what we have around IoT stuff. Now, what do we offer with PcVue with the PcVue platform? So as an overview, we designed a specific component, component, the PcVue IoT Hub, which is a bunch of services and technology to connect the IoT world with a large connectivity. We have LoRa, MQTT, Sigfox drivers, the possibility to deploy your IoT infrastructure, and this deployment is very scalable from few devices to 100 or 1,000 devices. You can connect any IoT from many manufacturers and meeting all the security constraints. The PcVue IoT Hub is also here to help to build your project. So we do provide an IoT sensors library. This library can evolve. If you have new sensor, we can study the sensors and add it to the library to help you to build the project. And we also provide the starter kit. We'll talk about it a bit later to once again help to build the project and build your IoT infrastructure. And this IoT Hub is also designed to operate and maintain your IoT infrastructure. So around this PcVue IoT Hub, you have everything to connect, implement, operate, and maintain your IoT infrastructure. So as I say, we offer large IoT connectivity, manufacturer agnostic for private infrastructure, such as this one. In this case, you have the PcVue IoT Hub connected either to a gateway, a LoRa gateway, or to an MQTT broker, and it's built in. And then we support also operated network with many operators. Here you have few of them, Sigfox and so on. And all of that is made to facilitate the deployment and the management with the starter kit and scalable library. So now if we focus a bit on the private network and what we can offer for the private network, we do have the MQTT driver, built-in MQTT driver available in the PcVue platform. Obviously, you need a MQTT broker. This MQTT broker can be on a machine or on a private cloud, but in any case, the PcVue IoT Hub can connect this broker. We support for any kind of networks, obviously, and as all the private infrastructure, it's operator free, so there's no fee, no infrastructure, and the service continuity is really locally managed. We also have the LoRa driver built in the PcVue platform. and you can connect the LoRa gateway. We support read and write access for this. And once again, it's a wireless cost-effective solution independent from any operator. Also, for LoRa, you must know that we support for multi-vendors gateway for especially Node-RED platform gateway. Obviously, in this world, in the IoT world, you have many different component devices, gateways, and so on. So we can study if you have a specific gateway that you want to implement or you want to use, and we can study and see how we can implement it into our libraries in PcVue. And then we did develop, as I said, and as you can see here on the right, library of objects to help to build the project with the application architect, which is the modeling tool in PcVue to create a project based on templates. So we developed a library that you can use to instantiate your gateway and your devices, and then create in few clicks your project. So this is a way to have your devices integrated in your project, as you can see here on the screenshot, for example. And along with this library, we also have a starter kit. So if Fabien, you want to take the mic to give few words on that.
So, so we know that when you want to start on a new technology, it's sometimes not so easy. So we created this PcVue IoT Starter Kit. So this offer is a turnkey solution to simply tackle the IoT revolution. What do you have inside this solution? In fact, this offer will allow you to both train on these technologies, so LP1, sensors, and so on, but also implement the first real project with the help of our technical teams. So once you will master the technical aspect of this offer, you will be able to deploy some new IoT devices on your site. So this will allow you to address new use cases accessible thanks to this LP1 network technology and self-powered sensors. What do you have inside this IoT Starter Kit? So you got several elements. First part is the hardware part, including sensors, the gateway, the antenna, and so all the hardware you need. You have also inside this package, you have the PcVue license, or if you already have some PcVue license, we offer the LoRa communication driver to add in your license. We obviously provide the library for the devices we're gonna deliver, and of course there is the training on 1 day of training to help you to start, as I said before, to be able to understand the global offer on PcVue plus IoT. And then the kind you just have to select the kind of starter kit you want to use. You got the standard one, which is basically for, let's say, BMS, a building management system, also its internal gateway. And then you can go to the advanced gateway, where it's more industrial one for your plant, and then the last one is the PoE, where you can put it outside, and when you have some dust or humidity or things like that, when you want to cover advanced solutions. So by using this starter kit, you can get all the material, all the knowledge or you can use it and start new project on this.
Okay, thank you, Fabien. I think it It's clear, and now we're gonna have a demonstration about IoT Laura by the other Fabien. So Fabien, I give you the control so you can share your screen. Okay, we see your screen now.
Okay, so normally you see a PcVue project.
Correct.
Okay, so good. Here, for example, in my Mimic, I have some device directly implemented by the Adonis library. We are create an Adonis library with different device for water, gas, electrical counter, analog, temperature, humidity for BMS, for example, and so dry contact. For example, I can insert a symbol, and as you can see here, I have a library. For example, I can select tick, I can select temp. So we are created everything about Adonis device. We can do the same work, the same job for other device maker or provider. It's on demand. It depends on you that you need. So this is on my Mimic. Now I would like to explain to you how I can create or implement a new device in PcVue. So actually, in my home, I have my local network, and I have a multi-tech gateway. I have two devices, IoT device. I have a dry contact and a FTD. FTD is a field test device. It can be very useful in LoRaWAN world because you can detect and see your coverage, if your device is okay or not, because you have the LoRaWAN radio frequency. To do that, I use the tools in PcVue, object-oriented programming, called Application Architect. I'm sure you know that. In these tools, I go directly in the LoRa Adonis library. I can declare and implement the gateway. And under the gateway, I can declare my two devices. So I have a dual contact or dry contact, and everything is done. The only field that you need is the UI, the identifier of the device. So for my device, I have a unique identifier, and I copy directly about text. So I can copy it and paste. Okay, so I can now generate and synchronize. To generate graphical elements, I need to close the Mimic. Sorry, it's in Application Architect, it's better. And I can generate with the synchronization. I continue, and directly with Application Architect, in fact, I create a Mimic with my device. The Mimic calls Gateway 1 generation. And directly, thanks to the Application Architect, I have the graphical element in my Mimic, and it's a dual contact. I can click on, and with different animation, I could see different element of this device. And here I click on about this device. So now I can simulate a door close. And for example, in 5 minutes, I can simulate a door opening. I spoke about FTD device, the field test device. This device is very useful because you can detect your coverage if the signal is good or not. And there is another information of this device is GPS location and longitude. FTD is on the library, so I can just drag and drop. And same thing, I need to give the EUI. So I can copy here and paste, and I can regenerate. So I close the Mimic, and in Application Architect, now I generate. And so now in my Mimic, I have the GPS device. Okay, so if I click in the pop-up for the moment, by default, each values are in 0, 0. So latitude is in 0, longitude is in 0. So we are on the middle of Atlantic Ocean. Now I can click on the device. I send my latitude and longitude position to the gateway, my gateway, because I'm under coverage of this gateway, just in the next room. So I have under the 10 kilometers. And if I click now in the GPS, I should have my position in France. Maybe
the field test device is really useful when you want to. This is, by the way, the first device you need to use when you want to install some IoT device on your site to be sure that the signal is correct everywhere where you want to put some devices.
Yes, with this device, you can simulate another device
Also.
with detect the good or the bad coverage. And if it's good, yes, you can say, I can put a new device here and have information by LoRaWAN. So advantage of the LoRaWAN is no wires, is very efficient to have information. No, not in real time, but for example, for opening a door, it's okay for something like that.
We want to focus now in operated networks. We do have also the possibility to connect operated network and then to connect any kind of IoT devices through an operator cloud. So this could be any operators we support for the major cloud operators. In this case, as you now understand, it needs subscription fees to the operator. But you must know that you can, if you need to connect your devices through an operator, you can do it with the PcVue IoT Hub. Obviously, there's many situations and infrastructure. So if you have specific needs, you can just contact us and we can study your project. And to end this presentation, I wanted to mention that PcVue IoT Hub is not exclusive. It means that when you install PcVue platform, obviously you access the PcVue IoT Hub and you can connect any IoT devices or infrastructure, but you can also at the same time connect any other kind of devices like PLCs or other devices in other drivers, standard drivers like Siemens S7, Modbus IP, OPC, BACnet, and so on. So if you use the PcVue platform, it's not just the PcVue IoT Hub that you can use, but also everything else coming with PcVue and so the possibility to connect any other devices, to have the HMI for monitor and control your devices, and also all the mobile solution that we have on mobile app and web. So this is a very important point to mention. Well, we are at the end of the session, and now we gonna take some time to answer your question. So, so we did have some question that I can say here. So one was, which MQTT broker, proprietary broker? So I guess the question was, do you provide some broker, and if yes, what kind of broker for MQTT? Fabien, do you want to take this one?
Yes. MQTT broker that you want, in fact. We don't provide the broker. Maybe you can choose or use a Mosquito, like a free broker, or about a different platform like Azure or Amazon or Alibaba or etc. We don't provide the broker. In fact, PcVue is like a client, MQTT client.
Okay, another question was, the libraries is part of the standard PcVue, or it will come with license of IoT? Fabien, if you want to.
In fact, this library, it's shared when you have the IoT training. And of course, we can if you use IoT with Adonis to save your time. But if you understand the presentation, of course, you can share to us the device that you use by a solution, BMS or Energy or something like that, because we would add a new device on our catalog.
It depends on the functionalities we want to cover with the device. So we started to work with Adonis because they are a big player in this market, but we also test and integrate other devices to cover new functionalities for geolocation, for example, or other functionality what we want to cover with other devices to control the parking, for example, to make geofencing or things like that. So as soon as we discover new devices, we integrate it inside our libraries.
Okay, thank you. We have another question here. Can you tell me about the gateways you mentioned, their capability, and what wireless option they have, 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi? So I guess we talk about the gateways, including in the starter kit here.
Fabien, I can start the answer, and you can add some comment if you want. But yeah, we have the 4G. We have some option in the gateway to add some 4G or Wi-Fi connection, just to be sure that you can put the gateway where you want, so that this is possible. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Another question, is it possible to check if the IoT device is alive? I guess it's for you, Fabien.
It's very difficult to know about that, because the IoT, the LoRaWAN protocol is a protocol by the notification. We can either keep alive on the gateway, and we can have some mechanism between device and gateway to know keep alive, for example, one message by one day. But after, you can create an alert if the second day we have no message or element. But by default, there is no information about if the device is alive or not. Another information very important to know, in fact, in the device, we can know, often we can know the power of the battery. And we can display the percentage or the voltage of this battery in PcVue. And so you can create some alert if the battery is low or something like that.
Okay, another question. The question is the timestamping. If I collect the data, the time in the alarm list is the time received from device or the time when PcVue received the data? So, did you catch it, Fabien? Or
sorry, can you repeat, please?
The question is to know if the timestamp of the data is the timestamp of PcVue or the timestamp from the device directly.
The timestamp of PcVue.
Okay.
In LoRaWAN, and in your presentation, you present MQTT driver, and for MQTT driver, you can catch the timestamp of the device.
Okay, so it really depends on the driver you use, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question about the range. In which condition you can really reach 10, 15 kilometers range?
Yeah, I can answer, François, if you want. We did some project and we were able to go up to easily 10 kilometers because we put the antenna on top of the building. So clearly it depends on the geographic area where you are. If you have a lot of building inside the city, it will not cover in the same way as if you are outside with no mountain or things like that. So when, let's say, you can see the device from the antenna, you can go easily to 10 or 15 kilometers. For example, inside a flat city, let's say, it could be easy. And by the way, we got some issue with more inside building because LoRa is something where which goes deeply inside the building, and we only got some issue with reinforced concrete. You know, inside the building you have some steel inside the building, and sometimes for the floor 0 or -1 you got some issue with the LoRa network, but we did one big project with an antenna on top of a building of 12 floors, and with one antenna on top of the building, we are able to cover all the floor of the building except at the floor -1 and -2 and 0. But and we were able to cover also over building in the neighborhood.
Okay, and is there there's another question about that? Is depending on the range, is there an effect on the sampling frequency? So I guess on the quality of the signal.
Yeah. That's why I was talking about the FTD device. When you start a project, you must make the study of the coverage of the network. So you must put the antenna and move around with your FTD device and check if the signal is okay. But yeah, this is the situation you need to analyze and control. And if the FTD gives you some good figures about the signal, you can install the gateway and the antenna, and also the device at the right position.
Okay, thank you. But there's another question here I can take. Can PcVue IoT Hub connect to KNX networks? So, as I mentioned, PcVue IoT Hub is a part of PcVue platform. So the PcVue IoT Hub itself not connect the KNX network, but it connects IoT infrastructure, but the PcVue platform connects KNX networks. So PcVue platform has a KNX driver available to connect KNX networks. So the answer is yes, PcVue platform can connect KNX networks and PcVue IoT Hub all IoT networks. Okay. Okay. Last question, maybe it's still about the LoRaWAN gateway. Fabien, do you know if it's possible to get the timestamp from the device using LoRaWAN gateway, or it's something not possible?
By the LoRaWAN, we can to do. We can to do, but we need to create another variable, in fact. We have a variable for the value and a text variable to display the timestamp.
Okay, so there's a way to do it to do it anyway. Okay, I think we are on time. If there's other questions, don't worry. We will get in touch with you by email after the session. Also, you must know that the session has been recorded, and we'll send you shortly the link to the replay. And the replay will be available anywhere on our YouTube channel in few days. If you have any question about the session or about anything else, you can contact me directly to my email here. And thank you very much for your presence here today. Thank you.
I just wanted to add that something that we're gonna do over a webinar in the next coming days during all the June. So feel free to attend anyway.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.